Two things that kill the wealth growing potential of your investments, your portfolio, or the money that you've saved from your high income earning brand, entrepreneurial venture, or solopreneur venture. If you're a business, a brand, an athlete, an artist, there's mistakes that I see all the time. Two mistakes in particular that I help people remedy. But let's talk about what those two biggest things are that will kill your wealth, the long-term growth of your wealth if you are a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, and high income earning or high net worth, as I described earlier. The first one is putting all your money back into your business or your brand. Now, you totally understand that you need to put money back into yourself to grow your business, to improve yourself, to educate yourself, right? To improve your artistry, to improve your athleticism, to improve your business or your brand, like I said, right? There are costs that must be paid. You do need to put part of your money there. But there is a movement that I heard about a decade ago that I can't remember the name of the book. I'll throw it in the description once I find it. But it talks about paying yourself first. And I can tell you another book, The Richest Man in Babylon, teaches this principle as well. The other book that I was thinking of talks about how entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people, influencers, people with a brand that earn high income and earn high net worth, even low earning. If you're just an entrepreneur or you're at the early phases of your art career, your athletic career, something like that, you still want to be saving some of this money. And I learned this lesson myself, and that's why I teach it to other people. I was at a point early in my business career where I was putting, as an entrepreneur, I was putting everything back into the business. I wasn't taking money out of the business when I was earning profits to put it somewhere else where it could grow for me in another venture long term. And I see this all the time where people we deceive ourselves as entrepreneurs, as athletes, as artists. We tell ourselves, well, this is what I'm supposed to do, right? No, you need to, there's three reasons we need money. We need money to make a living, we need money to make ourselves happy, and we need money to make a future for ourselves. And we need to plan outside of that. I know there's some people out there that will tell you, the best investment you can do is investing in yourself and investing back in your business to grow your business. But the truth of the matter, statistically speaking, most businesses are not going to last. 90% are not going to last beyond 5 years. And 99% are going to not last beyond 10 years. So if you are making profit during those years, you should be putting a part of it away so it can grow for you, not putting it all back into the business. I learned that lesson the hard way. I've seen other people learn that lesson the hard way. I could have literally tens of millions more of dollars in my portfolio based on the things I've invested and when I invested in them. I'm not saying these results hold for everybody, but in my case, they do. Had I put money into these investments that I use now, instead of putting it all back into the business in time, it cost me tens of millions of dollars. And so I learned that lesson the hard way. I'm trying to help people learn as well and avoid those same mistakes. And the other thing that I see that kills the wealth building potential of a portfolio or a group of investments for entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, et cetera, is using traditional investment techniques. So one of the ones that I talk about a lot is the 60-40 split, where you use 60% bonds and 60% stocks and 40% bonds in your portfolio. This traditional setup was set up prior to the 1980s or during the 1980s, because up to that point in time, that had proven to be a successful model for investing, for growing your wealth, preserving your wealth, keeping it. Over the last 40 years, however, that it has not been working. Bonds are underperforming inflation. So if you have money in bonds, you're losing purchasing power every year. Your money may be growing, right? It may be growing 3 to 5% every year, but with inflation the way it's been, especially in the last 5 years, you're losing purchasing power every year. Your money, the money you're earning on bonds is not making up for that. And then also the way that you are invested in stocks in those, whether it's through mutual funds or individual stocks, there's a lot of fees, there's a lot of tax issues, there's a lot of drag, things that slow down the growth or steal potential for you. In many cases, these traditional portfolios are it's essentially a big investment bank or a big brand name bank, or even smaller local banks that are doing managing your wealth for you. They're essentially using your money to make money for themselves at your expense. You're losing if you are a high net worth earner, high income, or high income. If you have a high net worth or you're a high income earner, you are going to lose millions of dollars over the life of your investments in your own life by using these traditional portfolios. There's way better ways now to invest that will grow for you over time. Because if you're looking and you're 10, 20, 30 years or more away from retirement, you should not be looking at a balanced portfolio to preserve. You want something that may be more volatile, but it will grow for you. And volatility is not a bad thing. There are still, the investments I'm talking about are things that are still low risk and high growth, but they are volatile. They will go up and down at times in extreme ways, but over time, over decades, it will continually grow, and it will outpace inflation. It will outpace almost all other investments, except for maybe individual stocks or things of that nature. But then your odds of picking those are really starting to approach the odds of winning the lottery. It's just picking a needle out of the haystack. It is just, people don't do it. Professional investment fund advisors, people they pick stocks and whatnot for a living, they don't beat the market, most of them, over 1 to 3 years. And over 10 years, over a decade or longer, it really approaches zero. Almost zero people, professional people who do this day in, day out, every day. They have the best tools, the best computer, the best software systems that are running their investments are not outperforming the market. And there's ways that you can just perform with the market, like index funds. And there's ways you can outperform the market by using things like Bitcoin. Both index funds and Bitcoin are low risk and high growth options for investing. And they have a lot of other benefits too. But for you entrepreneurs, especially you high net worth entrepreneurs or you high income earning entrepreneurs, you need to avoid these two things that could be killing your long-term wealth generation, right? And that's putting all your money back into your business or your brand and not taking out at least 10% of your profits to invest in these other assets I'm telling you about, because the odds are stacked against you for the longevity of your career. Some of you will make it, most of you won't. So play the odds. The other one is don't use traditional investing portfolios, especially things like 60-40 stock to bond splits. They are not keeping pace with inflation. You are losing time. You are losing money. And again, if you are a high net worth entrepreneur, solopreneur, or a high income earning entrepreneur, solopreneur, you are losing millions of dollars over decades that you could be earning and managing them in a much more just as low risk and much higher growth opportunities.